In the heart of a haunted forest, where the moon hangs eternally in the velvet sky, a silent guardian watched over the slumbering world. This was the domain of a wise, old owl, the keeper of dreams for every creature nestled among the ancient trees. For centuries, his watch had been unbroken, his presence a quiet promise of peaceful rest. But his shadow was creeping at the edges of the forest, a darkness born from fear itself. One night, the familiar symphony of the forest changed. A new sound pierced the tranquility, a harsh, grating call that sent shivers down the spines of the sleeping animals. These were the nightmare crows, birds of shadow and malice, their feathers black as oblivion, their eyes burning with the embers of bad dreams. They swept through the canopy like a plague, their very presence twisting sweet dreams into terrifying visions. The forest creatures began to stir restlessly. A young fawn, once dreaming of leaping through sun-dappled meadows, now thrashed in its sleep, pursued by shapeless terrors. A family of rabbits, whose dreams were filled with fields of clover, now whimpered as they dreamt of endless, dark warrens. The nightmare crows fed on this fear, growing stronger and bolder with every stolen dream, their raucous calls echoing the growing despair. The wise owl, perched high on his branch, felt the shift in the forest's soul. He saw the tendrils of nightmare seeping into the heartwood of the trees, poisoning the very air. He knew his time of quiet observation was over. The guardian had to become a warrior. With a silent beat of his powerful wings, he launched himself into the moonlit sky, his golden eyes scanning the fog-covered treetops below. He spotted the first of the intruders, a lone nightmare crow, its silhouette a jagged tear in the moonlight. The owl folded his wings and dove, a feathered arrow of silent determination. The crow, caught off guard, shrieked as the owl's talons grazed its wing. It was not a battle of brute force, but of light against shadow, a silent, aerial duel fought with speed and grace above the sleeping world. Night after night, these ghostly skirmishes took place. The owl became a phantom of vengeance, intercepting the dark messengers before they could deliver their payload of fear. He moved like a whisper, his feathers designed for absolute silence, a stark contrast to the crow's chaotic flapping and grating cries. He would appear from the mist, a flash of white and gold, driving the shadow birds back into the depths of the forest. The creatures below began to feel a sliver of relief, their nightmares lessened by their protector's tireless fight. But the nightmare crows were legion, and their source of power was the Crow King, a monstrous bird larger and darker than all the rest. His heart was a core of pure terror, and his presence anchored the nightmare to the forest. The owl realized that to truly save his home, he couldn't just fight the symptoms, he had to defeat the source. The Crow King, sensing the owl's defiance, finally emerged from the deepest, most shadowed part of the woods to face his adversary. The air grew cold as the two leaders met above the forest canopy. The Crow King was a maelstrom of shadow and rage, his kiss so powerful they seemed to shake the very stars. The owl, by comparison, was a beacon of calm, his resolve as steady as the eternal moon above. Their final battle began, a whirlwind of black and white feathers against the silvered sky. They climbed, dove, and spiraled in a deadly dance, light versus darkness locked in an epic struggle. The Crow King was powerful, fueled by the collective fear of the entire forest. He pressed his attack, driving the owl lower and lower, aiming to overwhelm him with sheer, suffocating dread. They plummeted towards the forest floor, their fight carrying them over a serene, mist-shrouded lake. The moon's perfect reflection shimmered on its still surface, a mirror of the sky above. In that moment, an idea as brilliant as the moon itself sparked in the owl's mind. Feigning exhaustion, the owl allowed the Crow King to force him down towards the water. The Dark Monarch, sensing victory, let out a triumphant shriek and dove for the final blow. But just as his claws were about to find their mark, the owl twisted in midair and, instead of hitting the water, plunged directly into the moon's reflection. For a heartbeat, the world held its breath. The Crow King, blinded by his own arrogance, followed the owl into the shimmering portal, but it was a trap. The reflection was not water, but a gateway, a mirror dimension of eternal night, a prison made of light itself. The moment the Crow King passed through, the reflection rippled and solidified, trapping him within the lake's surface, a silent shadow in a silver cage. With their king gone, the remaining nightmare crows dissolved into wisps of smoke, their power broken, their connection to the world severed. A profound silence fell over the forest, a silence not of fear, but of peace. The oppressive cold lifted, replaced by the gentle warmth of the perpetual moonlight. The owl, weary but victorious, circled the lake one last time before returning to his perch. As the first hint of a new day, a concept the forest had known for an age, began to glow on the horizon, the creatures below stirred. The fawn dreamt of sunlit meadows again, the rabbits twitched their noses, tasting sweet clover in their sleep. The long, collective nightmare was over. The forest awoke, cleansed and renewed, under the watchful eyes of its guardian, the wise owl who had fought the darkness and won. Thank you so much for watching this story unfold. If you enjoyed this journey into the light, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to our channel for more tales. We'll see you in the next one.